They thought you'd fall. They thought the weight of their words would crush you, that the silence they forced upon you would become your prison. But instead, that silence became your sanctuary. While they watched and waited for your collapse, you were quietly building a version of yourself they could never touch. And now, they can't even look your way without feeling the power you've become. Look at how far you've come. Truly take a moment to reflect on it. You've carved out a sanctuary of peace for yourself. One that didn't just shut out the noise of the world around you, but more importantly, quieted the loudest and most persistent noise of all, your own inner critic. That voice used to echo the doubts and judgments of others, replaying harsh words, criticisms, and moments of rejection like a broken record. But now, there's a deep stillness where chaos used to live. The opinions that once pierced your heart no longer carry weight. The judgments that once made you second guess yourself have faded into the background. The mockery, the gossip, the efforts to minimize your worth. They've all been reduced to whispers, barely audible beneath the steady rhythm of your progress and the quiet power of your truth. They thought they knew you. They thought their words could define you, box you in, make you doubt your path and your purpose. They assumed their ridicule would break your spirit, that their attempts to belittle you would cause you to retreat, to shrink, to abandon your mission. But they failed to realize something important. You were never built to break. You didn't engage in arguments or waste your time trying to change their minds. You didn't fight fire with fire. Instead, you remained calm. You moved with grace. You focused on what truly mattered, your growth, your healing, your purpose. And in doing so, you showed them the power of quiet strength. You let your actions speak louder than their assumptions. They tried to tear down your self-belief, to paint you as less than, to twist your name into a punchline, hoping their cruelty would discourage you. They whispered lies behind your back, and sometimes right to your face, disguising their fear as arrogance, their envy as advice. They crafted stories meant to limit you, to make others doubt your value. And still, you didn't flinch. You didn't stoop to their level. Instead, you rose. You stayed on your path. You chose not to internalize their projections. You chose not to carry their insecurities on your back. You built yourself from the inside out, layering each day with intention, resilience, and truth. Your progress wasn't loud, but it was unstoppable. They couldn't see the fire inside you, the deep, sacred calling that moves you forward. This isn't just something you're dabbling in. This isn't a phase or a moment of inspiration. It's who you are. It's your soul's purpose. And that kind of purpose is untouchable. It can't be dimmed by gossip or broken by judgment. It can't be shaken by people who never understood it to begin with. They don't get to define your worth. They never did. Their opinions, rooted in their own fears and limitations, were never a reflection of your truth. What you did, many people never dare to do. You believed in yourself, fully, even when others didn't. You trusted your vision even when it was invisible to everyone else. You chose self-love. You chose faith. You chose to keep going. And now, the shift is undeniable. The voices that once spoke so loudly against you have gone quiet. The people who doubted you, who rolled their eyes, who waited in silence for your failure, they've drifted into the background. Some disappeared entirely. Why? Because they can no longer deny your power. You didn't just survive their criticism. You outgrew it. You evolved. You transformed. You ascended to a level where their words can't reach you. They never saw it coming. In their minds, you were supposed to crumble. You were supposed to give up, shrink down, and walk away from your dream. But instead, you took every stone they threw and built a foundation beneath your feet. You turned their doubt into fuel. You turned their judgment into clarity. You turned their ridicule into strength. And now all they can do is watch. Their sharp words have dulled. Their mocking tone has faded. Their disbelief has turned to silence. Not because they suddenly understand you, but because your growth has left them speechless. You've become the version of yourself they never believed could exist. Not only have you overcome what they thought would break you, you've soared far beyond it. You've moved into a new reality where their opinions no longer matter, where their gossip has no grip, and where your light shines too brightly to be ignored. You've risen not in arrogance, but in truth. And the beauty of your journey is this: you never had to destroy anyone to rise. You simply had to become more of who you were always meant to be. And that, more than anything, is your greatest triumph. Look intently at the remarkable distance you have traversed. Every deliberate step forward you have taken has served as a silent yet powerful rebuke to their narrow-minded judgment. Every milestone you have achieved stands as a potent reminder that their negative words held no intrinsic truth or lasting power. While they were consumed by idle talk, busy spinning their self-serving narratives and generating noise that ultimately echoed only within the confines of their own limited circles, you were diligently engaged in the vital work of moving forward, steadily growing both inwardly and outwardly, consistently creating and continuously evolving into a more authentic and powerful version of yourself. You are a victor, not by mere chance or fortunate circumstance, but by deliberate design, by the unwavering commitment to your inner vision. You were always destined to rise, much like a resilient seed that is deliberately buried in the seemingly oppressive darkness of the soil, not to be hidden away and forgotten, but to take firm root in the unseen depths and ultimately flourish into its full potential. They mistakenly believed that burying you beneath their negativity would mark the definitive end of your story, failing to comprehend the transformative power of darkness to accelerate true growth. Now, you stand tall and unyielding, the blossoming into something so undeniably powerful and unshakable that they can scarcely believe its tangible reality. They watch you now with a palpable envy, their amazement bordering on utter confusion as they struggle to comprehend how you continue to rise, how you consistently achieve success despite the considerable weight of their sabotage and the pervasive shadows they desperately tried to cast over your radiant light. Every petty attack they launched, every baseless rumor they spread, every mocking laugh they shared in their misguided attempts to belittle you, ultimately served only to reveal the indomitable nature of your spirit. It is a truth that gnaws at them from within. Of course, they might still engage in hushed whispers and veiled criticisms, but it lacks the same fervent public ridicule of the past, largely because they are now too deeply ashamed to continue their charade of false confidence, their carefully constructed facade having begun to crack under the weight of your undeniable progress. They still secretly harbor hopes for your eventual failure, muttering doubts behind closed doors, but their resentful wishes carry no real force in the face of your unwavering truth. Your success is now untouchable, undeniably yours, hard-earned, richly deserved, and fiercely protected by the very strength they tried to extinguish. And even when they dare to speak against you now, their words often have the unintended consequence of amplifying your presence, drawing even more attention to your remarkable journey. It's almost a poetic irony. The more they attempt to diminish you, the more they unintentionally promote you, their hate inadvertently fueling your platform. They are visibly terrified by your inherent strength, deeply threatened by the effortless way you command attention and your remarkable ability to succeed without their validation or approval. In their limited worldview, your victory somehow diminishes their own perceived value, but the fundamental truth remains: blessings and opportunities are not finite resources to be hoarded. The universe operates on principles of abundance, not scarcity. What is divinely intended for you will inevitably find its way to you, and no amount of negativity or obstruction from others can ultimately block what has your name written upon it by the very fabric of existence. You didn't steal anything. You simply and rightfully received what you were always destined for. And the most empowering truth of all is that you are only just beginning to tap into the vastness of your potential. This current chapter is not the final act. It's not even the dramatic climax. It is merely the powerful beginning of a new wave of even greater victories. Bigger doors are already preparing to swing open. Opportunities that surpass anything you have previously imagined are rapidly approaching on the horizon. Yes, challenges will undoubtedly appear, for they are an inherent part of any meaningful journey. But these inevitable obstacles are not meant to halt your progress. Rather, they are designed to elevate you to even greater heights. They are stepping stones, not stumbling blocks, and with every test you overcome, you will emerge with a deeper wellspring of inner strength, a sharper clarity of vision, and a more resilient and powerful version of your authentic self. Therefore, do not allow the inevitable bumps in the road to shake the unwavering foundation of your faith. Do not permit temporary setbacks to convince you that you have somehow lost your way. So take a deep breath and look at you now. You are no longer the person they tried to break. You are the one who turned pain into power, silence into strength, and every single doubt into undeniable proof of your destined rise. This is only the beginning. The road ahead is wide open, filled with opportunities that only someone with your resilience, your vision, and your spirit can fully claim. So walk boldly, speak your truth, shine without apology. If this message stirred something within you, if it reminded you of your power, your purpose, or your path, make sure you're not walking it alone. Subscribe to the channel to stay connected. Like the video so others can find this light too. Comment below with, "I res," if you're claiming this next chapter as your own, and share this with someone who needs to be reminded of their unstoppable spirit. Until next time, stay grounded, stay radiant, and never forget, your light was never meant to fit into the shadows they tried to keep you in.